Here's something that doesn't add up. You could be genuinely brilliant at what you do, have years of hard-won experience, a track record of real results, and still be the best-kept secret in your industry.
I try and operate my life like I'm a tech bro because I want to do it. If it's in my head, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it fast. I'm going to fail hard before I've spent way too much money or before I've gone too far down a path and been like, I don't want to do this, because I don't want to be on my deathbed and look at my husband and say, I wish I would have tried X, Y, or Z. I want to look at my husband and my friends. I want to be laughing my ass off. And I want to be like, remember that time I tried, and know that I failed spectacularly, but I tried and it was a good run and it was fun and we can laugh about it. A rising tide lifts all boats. If I can help you out, if I can teach you, even if you're my competitor, to avoid one huge mistake I made, I'm going to do that. The best thing you can do for yourself that is viewed as the worst thing is try.
Here's something that doesn't add up. You could be genuinely brilliant at what you do, have years of hard-won experience, a track record of real results, and still be the best-kept secret in your industry. KJ Blattenbauer has spent nearly three decades figuring out exactly why that happens, and more importantly, what to do about it. KJ is the founder of Hearsay PR, a visibility and authority-building consultancy that has helped hundreds of entrepreneurs, authors, executives, and founders stop being overlooked and start being known. Before building the lean, high-impact advisory practice she runs today, she led a 15-plus person agency team. Not easy to do. So she has lived every side of the entrepreneurship equation, from hiring and scaling to the inevitable moments when growth gets messy. She's the author of How to Be a Media Darling, and she's putting the finishing touches on Pitchworthy, and a modern playbook for anybody who wants to build authority and attract opportunities before a sales conversation ever has to happen. Her work has been featured in Forbes, Fast Company, Inc., and Business Insider, and she has secured hundreds of media placements for clients across national, broadcast, and digital outlets. At the center of everything KJ does, it has a concept she calls the recognition gap, the space between being exceptional and being known. Today, she's here to tell us exactly what lives inside that gap and what we're supposed to do next. So welcome to the show, KJ.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I'm excited. We were chatting a little bit before, and I already know we're going to get along just fine. It's going to be a great conversation. And I'm impressed. It's not easy to run a 15-person team. It's not easy to run a 3-person team, right? It's not easy to run yourself. Never mind 15 people. Right?
I mean, when you think about it, you move away from controlling the business you're supposed to be running, which is hard enough if you're a solopreneur, to managing other people and their expectations and their workload. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever worked with a personal trainer, they're trying to get me to eat healthy. They're trying to get me to lift. I can't even get myself to do that. So I have to hire someone else to do that. And then you want me to tell people to work harder, achieve this goal, do this thing, come in, leave, don't have vacation. No, managing other people's expectations is truly one of the greatest gifts and biggest challenges of life.
For sure. It reminds me of the Peter principle, where rising to the level of your incompetence. And so a lot of times, if you're really good at something, you get promoted in the job, and then you get promoted to a position that you're not good at anymore. And that happens with entrepreneurs, where you have this idea, you're a solopreneur, next thing you know, it blows up, and now you're expected to know leadership and all these other things that you're like, I'm just a good hustler. I'm a salesperson. I had a good idea and I innovated, but that does not make me great at that other thing. And especially as a woman, we're really taught to be smaller, be more, less quiet, just look pretty, be quiet, don't talk too much, don't say too much, don't do too much. And so there's probably a really big gap. When did you first kind of see that gap in the work that you were doing and decided to make the move to PR?
I saw it my first day of work. I started in public relations before the internet was a thing. And I saw at my first day of work, every single person working in the bullpit, pitching, running errands, grabbing things, doing stuff for clients, female, working their tails off. Everyone in upper management or running the agency, except for one agency out of the 6 in the big metropolis that I started in, run by men. How do you achieve such great heights if you haven't worked your way up, right? Why are there no women there if 90 to 95% of the population in the public relations industry is women? It didn't make any sense. And so I was lucky enough, I worked for the agency that had the one woman. And when at the end of your internship, you got an hour with her. And one of the questions I asked her was how did you get here? Like, how did you get to be the one woman out of all of them? And she said, I took absolutely no prisoners and I have absolutely no friends. And I thought she was kidding. But I think back in those days, like that was how things were run. It's a very cutthroat. You don't, now that I'm on this side of my 40s, I'm not blazing trails. I'm not writing a new map, but anything I can do, a rising tide lifts all boats. If I can help you out, if I can teach you, even if you're my competitor, to avoid one huge mistake I made, I'm going to do that. I'm going to straighten your crown. I'm going to help you out. Like, I want to bring everyone up the hill with me. In my early days, that was not the case. You were fighting for a spot. You were fighting for the next story. You were fighting for the better desk in the crappy office. And so I always took it to heart. She said that I had to, like, she basically said, I had to step on necks to get here. And I thought, the guys don't have to do that. And so I noticed it my first day of work.
That's incredible, and I could definitely relate to that. I've been in like male-dominated industries my whole life, and it's like you really have to kick your way, kick down the door and bang on the table and set some stuff on fire to get heard, and then and it's such a powerful statement. Take no prisoners, and I have no friends. Like, and that's not it either, because like there is no job that is worth that, right? And so you talk a lot about like getting visibility without losing yourself, and I think about that a lot because I've been going viral lately, and my social media presence has been growing. I have like somehow formed this army of very angry perimenopausal and menopausal like 65-year-old women. I guess they're postmenopausal, but I have like this army of very angry women in their 50s and 60s following me, which I'm like so here for. And I made a promise to them that I would never monetize my content. And then my friends were like, dude, don't do that, because you can monetize it and you can like boost the content and get in front of more people. But it's so important, because when you start monetizing, you do lose yourself. You think, am I going to post this? Are people going to like this? Or Facebook will say, hey, you need to make 6 new posts today. And then I'm just making posts for the sake of, right? And so even on such a micro level, there's a million opportunities every day to lose yourself, and lose your mission at hand to get to the thing that you want, because you have to play the game to get the thing that you want, but the game that you have to play sucks.
The game sucks. And guess what? You don't have to play it. You literally just made me think of the best point that I think we can talk about today. The number one thing for being an authority in whatever you want to do, any industry, whatever your hopes, dreams, and goals are, no matter who your audience is, no matter where you came from, everything, nothing, starting from scratch, starting over, no matter what age you are, decide the thing, especially if you're a woman, decide the one thing you want to be known for. Never stray from that one thing. Now, we're women. We can do anything, right? We can build a boat. We can go grocery shopping. We can raise 15 kids. We can raise 15 other people's kids. We can run a huge company. We can be the president of the United States. Like, you can do all the things before 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, but you don't have to. Pick the one thing, not what you think your parents want for you, not what you think your partner wants for you, what you truly want to do in your heart, the thing that, if money was no object, if time was no object, if it didn't impact your kids or your family, what's the one thing you want to do and be known for? Everything else falls away, because you're going to find most of your life falls underneath that one thing you want to be known for, right? I want to be the person that people come to when they want to be recognized, when they want to know authority. I'm not posting every day. I'm not in front of the camera all the time. I'm not doing a single thing I don't want to do. Most days, I don't set an alarm clock. I work harder than anyone I know, but I don't have to post more. I don't have to be out there more. I know what I want to be known for. I know where my target audience is. I show up for them maybe 3 times a week. I've trained them how I show up, where they are, and that's all you have to do to build authority. Know what you want to be known for, stick with it, set your own schedule, and only show up where your people are. You don't have to be on 15 channels. You don't have to pay for a million things. You don't have to go on every single podcast, TV show, dance on TikTok, do whatever. And if you don't want to monetize it, you don't have to. You can pick and choose who you want to work with. And if you do want to monetize it, good for you. I do every single thing because I like doing it. I'm lucky and I'm blessed. I've worked really hard. I've built that life for myself. I'm not taking that for granted. But at the same time, I'm not going to do anything I don't want to do, because I come from a place of service. I want to help people, especially women, get what they deserve. I'm glad your audience is angry, because I think once you get over 35, you're so done with everyone else's. Yes. You finally are done people pleasing. You're finally learning who you are. You're finally hitting your stride professionally, personally, everything else. And before menopause and perimenopause come and just wreck your body for life, right? Before the universe comes at you, you've already dealt with so much. By 35, you're over it. Get angry. You know, women are doing everything. We're taking care of the home. We're taking care of businesses. We're leading the charge in small businesses. Why aren't we getting more funding? Why aren't we hearing about more of the women that are leading things? Why, when we hear about men leading things, they're visionaries, gurus, game changers, but women are like, mompreneur making a difference, innovative woman to aspire to. Why? Why is it different? It makes me so crabby.
Yeah, yesterday Simone Biles was described as a wife of an NBA player.
Yeah, but I think it's NFL, and who even knows who he is?
Yeah, exactly, or whatever, right? You know, exactly. And you're exactly right. You know, I was on this women's retreat last year, and one of the questions was, "What kind of woman do you want to be?" And we had to journal about it, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not sure I've ever really thought about that." You know, and one of the things I ask women a lot is, "What do you want in life?" Right? Because a lot of times we don't even give ourselves the opportunity to ask that. I'm really clear on that. I think me and you are very similar in that. I'm like, I'm not doing anything I don't want to do. I left home at 17. I took a long time to bake this cake. I earned every single morsel of it. And ain't nobody going to tell me what to do or how to do it or when to do it. Like, it's just not in my DNA. But for a lot of women, just asking, what do you want? Is like, well, my husband, no. Listen, forget your husband, just pretend everything doesn't exist. What do you want? And then, like, what kind of woman do you want to be? But what do you want to be known for? You know, like, that is such a good angle, because what else is the point? What are we doing on this planet if we're not doing something?
Right. Like, what are you working so hard for? Is it to provide for your family? Is it to take care of elderly parents? Is it because you want to come from a place of service and help others? Is it because you see something missing? What do you really want to be known for? And you know what? It's okay if you're just like, I want to be famous. Okay, go on reality TV. There's room for you. And you know what? When I'm burnt out from a long day, I appreciate you being on reality TV because it's brainless and I can watch it, right? Bring on me all the housewives. I will watch it, bravo. But I think there's a place for every person and there's a purpose for every person. But you touched on it. So many women have never even taken 2 seconds for themselves to think about what they want to be known for. And if they have, it's so uncomfortable to think of yourself because it's a vulnerability. When you put that stake in the sand and you decide, this is what I want to be known for. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to strike out for. This is how you can support me, husband, partner, kids, family, peers. People can judge you. Just like when you put art in the world, they're all going to judge it, right? And a lot of us are too fragile to handle that because it's one thing to even accept what your dream is, but then to vocalize it, it can be soul crushing for people. And
stand firm. Listen, the world doesn't really like confident, firm, assertive women.
Mm-mm. No.
They really don't like it if you're a little overweight too, or if you're gay or of color. You know, like it's like strikes against you. The world is wildly resentful if you have confidence and you check a lot of those boxes. It's like the audacity of you to even vocalize what you want, and it's not spoken out loud, but it's real. And I felt it my whole life. I'm 5'10". I'm not a little woman, but I've had an unreasonable amount of confidence my whole life. Probably because I was raised around a bunch of Irish people, and all they ever did was drink too much and take the microphone. And I was like, this is what you do. This is normal. You just say what you think. But I've seen like the impact that I can have on other people just being myself, because it's like, well, wait a minute, if she can do it, it's like, yeah, you can do it. But just know that there are going to be death threats, rape threats, horrible. I mean, that's like a friend of mine who I interviewed a couple weeks ago. He's running for office in Florida. He posted this morning, I woke up this morning. He said, I wake up most mornings with 20 to 30 death threats from MAGA. And he said, but they're starting to slow down, right? I think people are starting to wait. But I'm just thinking to myself, that is not normal. But unfortunately, depending on what it is you want to be known for, that might be par for the course. And you got to be really firm on what you want to do. For me, I'm 50. Like I said, it took a long time to get this way. I'm known for being authentic, and I stand behind what I say. My real name is on all my social media profiles. My business is, you know what I mean? I'm not hiding from anything. I stand behind what I say. But I see really ugly stuff. But I don't care, because those people don't define who I am. And for every one ugly comment or death threat or rape threat that I get, which is insane to think that that's a real thing, I have hundreds or thousands of comments of people not doing those things, So you just have to know that it's not always going to be easy just because you figure out what it is you want. It's not like the gates open and the world is like, come on in.
No, it doesn't. But when you know what you want and you're passionate about what you want, and it's the true thing, look, I'm not saying it's worth the 20 death threats a day, but
right.
That is never okay. Who has the time to do that? No matter what side of the spectrum
what are you
end
doing?
up on, use your other time wisely. Maybe it's time we address this mental health crisis on all sides. But when you know what you want to be known for and you're passionate about it, nothing's going to stand in your way. The setbacks, the hard times, the missing things, like the struggles, it's worth it when you're doing what you're meant to be doing. And you know what? The best thing you can do for yourself that is viewed as the worst thing is try. I try and operate my life like I'm a tech bro because I want to do it. If it's in my head, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it fast. I'm going to fail hard before I've spent way too much money or before I've gone too far down a path and been like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to be on my deathbed and look at my husband and say, I wish I would have tried X, Y, or Z. I want to look at my husband and my friends. I want to be laughing my ass off. And I want to be like, remember that time I tried and know that I failed spectacularly, but I tried and it was a good run and it was fun and we can laugh about it. And I feel like we don't teach that. We should be teaching our kids, especially our daughters, when they come home from school every day or wherever we're, homeschool, whatever. At the end of the day, over dinner, we should say, what did you fail at today? And we should teach them that they should be failing at something because that means that they tried. Not like, how great was your day? Or not talking to them at all, just putting them in front of screens like, what'd you fail at today? And they should have to fail at something because I have so many friends who are so talented and so smart and could be giving great gifts to the world who are so trapped by their inability. They don't even want to start needlepoint or go to an art class because it's not going to look perfect. Nothing is.
Right. Perfect is the enemy of good, one of the best quotes ever, but it's absolutely the truth. It is a bummer to see that when you see these amazing women and they're like, I'm sorry, I know this is a dumb question. I'm like, I'm that friend that yells at my friends. I'm like, stop saying that. And I recognize that's not the best method to build confidence in people by yelling at them, but it somehow works with my friends because I'm like, stop apologizing, stop apologizing, stop apologizing. Stop. I am that broken record. I'm like, own it. Don't apologize for wanting a cup of coffee. Just take it, dude. You know what I mean? Stop asking for permission for everything. You're in my home. Just take it. You know what I mean? Own it. You didn't offend me. You know what I mean? I'm not judging you. I'm not anything. Just own yourself, So, and it's always amazing to see people sort of wake up a little bit and go, okay, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just going to get a cup of coffee. And you're like, it's just a cup of coffee, but we'll start anywhere,
Yeah, anywhere. And I think part of it too is, I hate to bring it back to this constantly, but it's really the base that we have for things. Women nurture and take care of everyone before they take care of themselves. Men don't have to worry about that. And it shows up in a variety of ways across, especially professionally, but even personally. Guys always get to do what they want to do. They don't have to be worried about how they're walking down the street. They don't have to be worried about how they're dressed. They don't have the insecurities that my girlfriends and I were raised with. But at the same time, in the business world, if you or I take a stand or have a hard boundary or get excited about something, whether it's good excited or this isn't going to work, bad idea, we're too opinionated. We're intimidating. We're too emotional. I heard I cared too much, which is kind of the last straw for me with corporate America. Yeah. I was difficult to work with because I was good at my job, because it's my job to question what you're doing, idiot, before you put it out there to the public, right? Guys in business, they don't have to worry about personal branding. They just do whatever they want to. I like to live my life like a tech bro. And I joke, my husband hates this, but I joke that I'm just going to fail upward like an ordinary Chad every single day. I'm just going to go through life with the audacity of the average white male and see where it gets me. I've been doing it for 6 months. I have 2 best-selling books. I've spoken at 27 conferences this year. My business revenue is up 30%. Fail and go through life like the audacity of the average white male. I'm telling you, it works spectacularly.
Listen, I'm on that train too. Listen, I'm glad that we got connected today because you're my new favorite person. You got to come hang out with me in Costa Rica and we can talk shit about everything.
Let's do it.
But and it's so true, because what you said earlier about like 50% of small-owned businesses are owned by women, and 55% of the jobs created in America are small businesses. So why are we not getting the recognition that we deserve? Like, I remember one time I took a whole team of artists and people to Austin, Texas, and had this bus and drove and got everybody gigs, and I was doing a powwow with the team. I had some employees there, and I was like, this is what we're going to do. And one of the guys went, meow. And I looked at him and I said, get the F off my bus, man. It's a wrap. And we were really good friends. I was like, the audacity of you to treat me that way in front of my staff. And even they looked at him like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? She's our leader. Like, we're here because of her. Like, we're not interested in tearing her down. But there really is, like, even he was one of my best friends. It wasn't even a random person. It's like, what is wrong with you? So there is a real, like, ceiling. There is real pushback, right? Like, so women are feeling these things, and it is real what they're feeling. It's 100% real, but it's all about pushing past it. So for people who are listening to this and they're like, okay, I'm getting a little fired up, what's the next practical first step for somebody who's like, this is resonating with me? What should they do?
I think it's find time to get quiet without the noise or people around you. Even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's journaling for a little bit, start brainstorming, start being honest with yourself. What do I want to be known for? What do I really want to do? Right? You and I, we're near the 50s, right? So technically I'm going to say we're middle age, right? We've done a lot in our first 50 years. If we still have 50 more, I'm exhausted thinking about all the things.
I know, me too. I'm like, no.
Right? What do you want to do with the one amazing, crazy life? If money was no object, if other people's perceptions or putting you in a box wasn't a thing, what's the one thing you want to do? Start taking baby steps towards that goal. And I think that's the first place to start. The next place to start is if it's on a business or even personal, like, okay, what is that? How do I show up in the world? If I want to move from here, where the world perceives me, where I think my talent, my brains, everything else is here, in between is a recognition gap. What can I do every single day to close this recognition gap, to bring people to where I'm at? I have to teach people, I have to train them how to think, how to talk, how to speak about me in rooms I'm not in. So I do that every day for myself. I do it every day for clients. Like, I even send things after coffee meetings where I'm like, thanks so much for the chat today. Just FYI, here's a guide for how you refer me moving forward. And it's like, here's who's great for me for clients. Here's the questions they might have. Here's how I can help them. Here's sample language if you want to refer me. Because I want people to know I'm not just a PR person. I'm helping you close the visibility gap. We are taught to post more, show up more, do more, all the more, sing and dance, whatever they're telling us to do. I'm not going to be gaslit that way. That's not how visibility works. And we've been taught wrong the whole time. And we don't even need the visibility. You don't need to be famous. You don't need to be out there. You need to be good at whatever it is you want to do. And if the work's not going to speak for itself, because it's just not in this land of social media and 24-hour news cycles, you need to show up 3 to 5 times where your people are total, and then leverage that across your own social channels, your email, your websites, whatever your profiles are. Keep teaching people how to talk about you. It's decide what you want to be known for and be honest with yourself. Be truly, truly honest. Am I going to go run a daycare? No, I have a lot of patience, but being trapped in a room full of children frightens me. It really, truly does. Like, that is not where I'm going to shine. So decide what you want to be known for and be honest. Get really clear about how to explain it to people in a single sentence, in one breath, because everyone has a very short attention span. Then figure out, okay, who are my target people, whether it's in business or in life, that I need to communicate to, and then work on closing that gap by teaching them the language of how they speak about you.
I absolutely love that. I have never heard that before, and it is 100% brilliant. It's like when you do big corporate events, and they're like, here's 10 tweets that you can use, and everybody's got their like @ mention and stuff. This is kind of older, but everybody's like, oh, thank God, because I'm not going to tag the wrong person and I don't have to think about it. And it's like, it's not being like arrogant or whatever, because a lot of people would be like, I would never do that. Why not? Right? Like, why wouldn't, like, it's honestly brilliant. And like, we have to ask for things, you know? I recently got some new Google reviews, and I was like, I should once a week ask one person for a Google review. Like, that should just be part of my daily or weekly routine, is reaching out to a client, say, hey, would you mind leaving me a Google review? You know, like, you got to make yourself visible, because I agree, and I haven't done any PR, but admittedly, I'm like, I got to figure out how to hire KJ. I want to go speak in front of some more rooms. But, you know, it's you know, you have to advocate for yourself. You have to let people know. And I agree, social media is not it. Even though I have all these followers and stuff right now, this like army of women, like, I'm not sure most of them even know what I do, because it's on my personal Facebook and I don't usually intertwine the same things, you know what I mean? Or intermingle. It's like that Molly, the angry Irish, mouth like a sailor, fighting the patriarchy. And then there's like podcaster Molly on LinkedIn, you know what I mean? And those worlds don't always connect, you know what I mean? So it's like,
oh my God, we should connect, Molly, because think about all the women who are so fed up. Like, it would be the greatest. My friends like when they call me and I'm fired up, and they call them KJ rants, and I just go off about some random thing, and it's their favorite thing. They're like, you should have a podcast with the KJ rants. And I'm like, they just kind of come to me. I can't like schedule the rant. But think about so many people that everyone can have a podcast. Should everyone have a podcast? No, I think you and I both agree not everyone should have a podcast. And as a publicist, there's a diary I want to give people that says things my publicist doesn't want me to post online. We should know less about people. However, I think so many people have great voices and great ideas, and we are all fired up, and the world needs to see some change. Things are not rocking and rolling as great as they are, no matter where in the world you are. There's room for improvement. If we truly want to move humanity forward, and we want to treat others how we want to be treated, we have to use our voices to do that. And it starts with us. And I'm challenging you right now, Molly. I'm not saying you have to mingle those worlds, but I do think if you have an audience that is upset and wants to do something, help them figure out how to channel their voices in constructive ways, whether it's Substack, whether it's on social, whether it's through your podcast network, because you could literally be the gateway to the next person that changes the world, wins a Nobel Prize, or helps spark something in someone else that does those things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, last night I did a podcast training for 8 teenage girls who are part of a program called Democracy, and it's a nonpartisan, and because there's no gap in the amount of men that run for office and women that run. It's women win as much as men do when they run. The issue is not as many women are running. And so the whole idea is to get these girls younger. And so that was a very clear example. But I like what you're saying of like empowering other women to like use their voice too, right? Like if I've inspired you to be more vocal, which I think is what really is happening. They're like, I can't believe she just said that, but I kind of want to say it too, you know? Because it's never hurtful or mean. It's just, it is what it is, you know? But I like that, like helping other women to find that voice, because I would love to be a catalyst. That's always who I've been, is like a connector, a catalyst, like putting other people on stages, kind of like you. That's probably why I like you so much, because we have very similar work ethic and a mentality, and like what we do all day is probably pretty similar. It's just in a different space, you know what I mean? Because I don't know anything about PR, but I guarantee you the tenements of what we're doing are right on par with each other, you know?
1,000%, because, you know, you help people use their voice, but I do too, in the same way. I am in this business. I love people's stories, and I think everyone has an amazing story, and I think it's the 0 to 6 or 7 figure earners that have the best stories to tell. Public relations is free. Outside of paying a publicist, other people's channels, being on the television, all of those things are free, and you should use those to your advantage to promote yourself. And I just want to give people the tools to do that. I truly, look, am I in business to make money? Yeah, I got to keep the lights on. I like really nice things. I want to travel the world. But at the same time, I want to come from a place of service. I want to help people. I know what it's like to be behind the scenes. I know what it's like to be told to stay in your box and stay quiet. You can rise, but you can't reign, and all the things, all the cliches, right? And I just think it's such bullshit. Because if you aren't going to, it's not even about me. I don't want to be on camera. I don't like talking. I'm actually very shy. But if I can step into the spotlight and take myself out of the equation and come from a place of service and help the next person, no matter how cringy I look or how tired or if I need makeup or how bad my highlights are, who cares? No one's paying any attention. They're paying attention to the words that you're saying because it's resonating with them. And if you can resonate with one person and make some change or give them an idea or spark something, you've left that person better than when you came on. And I like to think of myself like a national park, right? Like you go into a national park in the States and the whole goal is whatever you bring in, you take out. You leave the land exactly like you found it or better than you found it. And I think we should treat human relationships that way. Every single person, whether they work for us or with us or they just interact with us, we need to leave those people better off than when they met us. And so that's just my personal daily challenge to myself. And sometimes I fail, like literally, I'm a Karen Jane, and some days I'm way more Karen than I like to admit. But, I just treat others how you want to be treated and come from a place of service. I think we would be so much further ahead in the world.
I agree. I love that. And you're hilarious, Karen Jane. That is hilarious. I relate. I'm a Karen sometimes too. Hey, we all got a lot of Karen in us. We did what they told us to do, and then it still didn't work anyway. No, people are pissed off. They're just expressing it very poorly, and sometimes in very aggressive ways. But that's a whole other conversation. Listen, I love everything about this, and I think there's a lot of people right now, and maybe it's not entrepreneurship or their company, but run for school board, run for your city council, run for those local like if you're feeling trapped and like you want to be heard and you're like, I want to be somebody who cares about the world and makes a difference, and maybe you're thinking about it, all of this is relevant to that too. It's the same thing. What do you want your constituents to know you for? What do you want your family to know you for? It's everything, right? So it doesn't just have to be business. It could be anything that you're feeling passionate about. And I think right now there is a grand awakening of women who are like, wait a minute, like this whole thing is rigged. And whether I do what they say to do or not, I'm still going to get the shit end of the stick. So I might as well rise up and do something about this because, at least maybe the next generation will have a better go of it, or my kids, will have a better opportunity than I did. And so all of this is relevant to that too, finding your voice, understanding what you want to be known for, not losing yourself in the process, and politics is a great example. All the lobbyist money and stuff, it's really easy. That's how it works. And then next thing you know, all the things that you care about and you ran on, you don't get to do anymore because, so, it's all the same, challenge, right? It's just in a slightly different package depending on what area you're in. So I think this is excellent advice to everybody. So I want to talk about your book before we go. I want to talk about the book. Tell us about the book and where people can find it and why they should read it, because I'm going to get it.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so I have two versions of Pitchworthy. It recently came out. The pink version of Pitchworthy that's behind me is all about DIY public relations, but it doesn't just apply to business. It applies to if you need to speak up in your corporate job, if you need to be more assertive with your family, if you need to be more assertive with your medical history or getting the right care that you need.
Boom.
It's using your voice for good, right? So it's 100%. Helping you get clear on what you want to be known for, communicating, helping you figure out your persona. It's almost like personal branding 101, a DIY way. And it's everything I've learned in 30 years to walk people through how you go from literally behind the scenes unknown to here's how you teach people to talk about you. Right? It's skewed a little bit more for business, but I use the same tactics every single day with my personal brand just for getting through life and what I want to do. There's also the white version. The pink version was so popular. 2 weeks later, we put out the white version, and the white version is actually the workbook, and it step by step walks you through the exercises it takes to figure out what you want to be known for, to figure out what your brand word should be, what persona you want to have, how you want to mold yourself, how you want to present yourself to the world, and then how you get yourself out there.
Incredible. Both of those sound great. I have a friend coming to visit me, so I'm going to order them and have her bring them to me because I don't have a address in Costa Rica, so I can't get mail. It's the whole thing.
That is amazing in its own way.
I mean, I'm not really, people are like, can I mail you something? I'm like, no. Sorry, you can't. But sometimes it's a bummer when you want to get your hands on a book or something like that. But I got a friend coming, so I'll have her bring him to me. And so for people who are listening to this and who absolutely love you like I do, I'm your new #1 fan. I'm going to go stalk you on all the socials. Seriously, you're amazing and funny. So you're my kind of people. But how can people find you? How can people work with you? Who do you want to work with?
I want to work with anyone that wants to figure out what they want to be known for. My favorite thing to do is messaging exercises, and that's usually where every client starts with me, whether they want to do full-blown PR or just figure out what they want to be known for. You can find me on hearsaypr.com. That's HEARSAYPR.com, or I'm KJ Blattenbauer on social media, especially Instagram.
Amazing. Well, we'll make sure all the links will be in the show notes to make it really easy for people, but that sounds fantastic. Messaging exercises are good. You got to start someplace. And nobody's coming to save you. So understanding your messaging and your points are really important. And I think, I was just saying to somebody yesterday, sometimes when you're not clear, or all the time, when you're not 100% clear on where it is you're going, that's when you feel stagnant. So people will say, I've been wanting to do this, but I just haven't. Well, it's because you're not clear on it. It's like you're not going to get in a car without a map and a phone and head someplace if you don't have a clear idea of where you're going. And a lot of people feel like it's them. Oh, it's me. I don't know why I can't do it. Well, it's not you. It's because you haven't really defined this thing. Because once it's clear, you're going to run towards that thing, but you're not there yet. Or a lot of times with podcast ideas, it's like, it's a good idea, but it's not really it. And like your intuition is telling you that something about it isn't 100% right. And that's why you haven't like lunged at it to get it done, right? Because I'm like you, I'm tech bro all the way. Like I launched a business last month, you know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous. I can't stop myself, but it works. Sometimes it doesn't, whatever, right? But understanding where it is that you want to go is so wildly important, because then you can't kick the ball into the goal if you don't know which direction in the field you're running to, you know what I mean? And it really is that important. So messaging exercises, understanding who you want to be. And then when you figure that out, then you know exactly what to do, or you know exactly where you're headed. And then someone like you can really help refine that process to make it not as painful. But you got to know where the hell you're going in the first place.
Right, because no one can vote for you. They cannot support your cause. They can't donate to you. They can't go to your restaurant, shop your shop. They can't refer you. They can't become a reoccurring client of you if they don't know who you are or how you can serve them or what you stand for or anything about you. So you have to be crystal clear. One sentence, one breath description will literally change your life in all aspects.
I love that. So, KJ, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure some, people who are listening will find value in it as well and enjoy your sense of humor and your attitude. And I hope we can all find a little KJ in us, and get through the day. So thank you for your time and for being on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So thank you all for tuning in and listening to What Do We Do Next? This one was a little bit different. We're talking about visibility and PR and not necessarily running for office or politics, but that's okay because it's all relative. Because no matter what you're doing, whether it's in a friend group, social group, workplace, political group, election, all of this is relevant. And I think now more than ever, we need to know who the hell we are and what we care about and what we stand for. Because like my friends say, if you don't stand for something, then you fall for everything. And that's the truth. It's a bit cliche, but it really is the truth. So go get KJ's books, get the pink one and the white one, follow her on social, and let's stay connected. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. If you got a friend who's on the fence about something, send this to them. This might be what pushes them over the top. So until next time, thank you everybody, and be excellent to each other. Thank you.